excellent precious mind, it is unborn made arise. Then we finish that one. So we second three chapter is Bodhisattva, the excellent precious mind, where it is born made no decline. So that is the chapter 4, 5, 6. We are chapter 6 today. Chapter 6. So verses, let's see, 64 finish, right? Verses 64 finish. So now we are verses 65. So when you listening the way of Bodhisattva, the teaching, we have to change our intention, create a bodhicitta. So recognize precious human body. Then ready to listening teaching. So this chapter 6 is the patient, practice patient. Today this participation is someone, destroy our faith, like devotion object, and also someone harmful the guru, teacher, spiritual. So then how to we take care of our mind and practice patience. So yesterday we talked about someone destroy the holy object. If we can stop that, if we have ability to do that, we have to stop without emotion. If you cannot stop them, no any ability, no choice, then you have to practice. We have to practice patience. So we have to recognize no one can destroy Buddha, no one can injure the Buddha, never be injured Buddha. So the Buddha is compassion and wisdom. No one can destroy that. So then recognize that, and also we, comes recognize that, and then who destroy this Buddha's holy object, then we seeing the person has inflictive emotion, controlled by emotion. So then you can create a compassion to that person. You don't have to upset. The reason is that no one can destroy the Buddha. That's the 64, and then we follow the same kind of very similar, same information. 65. I should prevent anger arise towards those who injure my spiritual masters, relatives, and friends. Instead, I should see, as in the minor shown before, that such things arise from conditions. So then someone, harm to our teachers, spiritual teacher, guru, our own sangha, and then also relatives, friends. So someone who harm to these relative friends, then so we have to cultivate practice patience. So we have to recognize the person who harm to teacher and friend relatives. So they recognize is like if controlled by afflictive emotions. So instead, I should see us in the manner showing before. So we read lots talk about already before because person is controlled by the conditions. So that reason that such things arise from conditions. So the harming for others, our spirituals, our relatives, the reason is because the enemy that also controlled by their own emotion. And then they also have so many conditions. So that's the reason they're harming for us. And we have to recognize that and then control our own anger, practice patience, and then we have to cultivate the compassion to the enemies because they are controlled by these conditions. Some is like we are the kind of the causes, conditions. We create the anger, emotions. So that's yesterday we told. Maybe due to our karma and conditions create their anger, their emotions. So then they harm to us, and we uh, have to practice patience. So long as you can practice patience, actually they're not really going to destroy anything. If we don't practice patience, then destroy ourselves in this life and the future life. So it's the same as like yesterday. Just we told the teaching is the same information, and so that's the reason we have to the practice patience. There's such things arise from its conditions. Then go to the verses 66. So there's also the logically we have to think about. So then we think, oh, I want to anger to the enemies because they has a mind and conditions that didn't have a mind. So that's the reason we usually anger to the enemies. Here is another, log to anger, another way to, so another aspect to control our anger. Since embodied creatures are injured by both animate beings and inanimate objects, why only be malice to the inanimate? It followed that I should patiently accept all harm. So usually we get hurt. Some is we get hurt and get difficulty problems due to others. Then this other has like some has a mind, some didn't have a mind. Because some is object with like sentient beings, creatures are injured. So the some didn't have a mind and inanimate objects. So then why we only angry to the without object? I mean the without mind. Think about it. So natural disasters. So do you angry with these hurricanes? Do you angry with earthquakes? And do you angry with these fires, wind, and so you would all this destroy the homes, and many beings die. So why we are not angry with them? Because they're more destroying and animate beings. So why we are, angry, upset with and body creatures are injured. So the who has a mind, then we are angry for them. If someone didn't have a mind, we don't much angry for them. So think about in this coronavirus, actually kind of the inanimate objects. So if one country come to another go to country, then killing like so many people like that, what this country going to do? See, and so the coronavirus is an inanimate object that harm so many people, die, but nothing to we do, and just all the country is just locked down, stay calm. And if some other country like just come to in another country invade, and killing people, so then they're going to fight and war and use all the powers. So so much upset, so much upset each other and fighting, destroy each other, and so same like that. This idea is, and we think about like a couple months ago in India and China, the war in the just is unused for land. Nothing used for the land is actually, no one can live the area. It's not any use for, but just they're fighting there, because then there's just killing one person each other, and then they talk about that and killing more each other, fight each other, and so much upset each other. But this coronavirus killing like 100,000 people. Just everyone is like, nothing to do and no upset. So Shantideva, just this is exactly like that mentioned about here. All these sentient beings doing like that exactly. If human beings harm to someone, is they really upset and anger and fight and destroy each other. Then some other things happening, then they just, nothing to do and no upset, no angry. So do you recognize what situations? Yeah, it makes sense, right? It's true. This all countries does like that. So example like earthquake destroy so many buildings and almost like kind of land also lost, destroyed, nothing to do. No angry. If some other country does like that for other country, they're going to fight and they're going to destroy each other. Then no one has a patient. So human beings destroy each other. Actually, laws like support each other, but the main point is actually due to the ignorance, they destroy each other. It follows that I should patiently accept all harms. So that's the reason we recognize situation, and then we have to practice patience. So why like you only angry to who has a mind? Why you didn't angry with who didn't have a mind? It's both harming to you. See, there's no answer there. What are you going to say? Just who don't have a mind, we cannot fight them because they don't fears, right? No any feelings then. And who has a mind, they are scared. That's the reason I'm going to harm them, because they're scared, they're nervous. So only that reason, maybe nothing any good reason in there. So now we go to the 70, verses 70. For example, when a fire in one house has moved into another house.
Khenpo,
Right?
67. 67.
67?
Yes.
Oh, I see. Sorry about it. Yeah, I went to the forward, sorry about it. Thank you. If it follows, I didn't talk then, it follows that I should patiently accept all harms. So we have to accept who harms doesn't matter, who has a mind, who don't have a mind, who harm for us, we need to practice patience. So it's the same thing, like why we have to angry with who has a mind, why we are not angry not angry because someone didn't have a mind, something object didn't have a mind. So both actually harm for us. 67. Should one person ignorantly do wrong and another ignorantly become angry with him, who would be at fault and who would be without fault? So the both are actually fault. No one is correct. See, should one person ignorantly do wrong, and another ignorantly become angry with him. So first one is think about enemies. They are ignorantly do wrong things for harm us. Then and another ignorantly, then who angry to that, fight to that, who harms, we fight to that person is like also same thing, ignorantly become angry with him too. Both are controlled by ignorant. No one is right. So that means like someone going to harm to you, you also going to fight back. Is no one is right. You cannot say I am right, he is wrong, because both are controlled by ignorance. So usually we don't accept that way. Usually we always say he is wrong because he did first. You pointing he is the first, he or she right first. Then that's why I did protecting myself. I did self-protection. So that's the regular beings, ordinary beings say that. But Shantideva said actually no one is right because both are controlled by ignorant. Who would be at fault and who would be without fault, you see? Who's wrong, who's not wrong? Actually, both are wrong. No one is right. If someone, who's be at fault, the first one ignorantly do wrong, that fault, but then second person, he controlled his emotions, the participation, then second person who would be without fault. But second person also didn't control their own emotion. Second person also controlled by their emotions. That's why they fight with first person. And that's the reason no one is right, both are wrong. 68. Why did I previously commit to those actions because of which others know cause me harm? Since everything is related to my actions, why should I bear malice towards these enemies? So this verses 68 also we have to recognize our own karma, because we create our own karma. That's the reason these enemies harm for us. That's the reason why we're going to angry to the person, enemies. Why did I previously committed those actions? So why we create this previously, this, harm for others and create this karma? Because of which others know, that's the reason others like know cause me harm. We create like previous life, cause. That's the reason in this life, some others going to harm for us. Since everything is related to my actions, or is related to interdependent because of my actions, why should I bear malice towards these enemies? Why we going to anger to, fighting with our enemies? There are no choice because we create a cause, contradictions. That's why they're going to harm for us. So no, our job is practice patience. That is our job. Because we started and we have to end. If we don't end, then endless suffering each other. So we have to recognize we did started. Actually, these samsaric ordinary beings didn't accept that because they don't recognize previous life karma. We only see in this life, moment, present. We don't recognize previous life actions. So that's the reason we always say he started first. Actually, we did already previous life actions. We started, but we don't recognize that. So that's the reason we have, the job is end, because that is our the responsibility. Because we started first, we have to also end. That's our responsibility. Okay. So that's the reason why we're going to angry for that person. If you angry fight others, then endless suffering going again and again. So now go to verses 69. When I have seen this to be so, I should stop for what is near us. So in order to certainly bring about loving thoughts between all. So we recognize this, what we did, previous life actions. So we must have to create like our wisdom and understanding situation. We have to know all the cause and the effect. Then when I have seen this to be so, recognize what's going on. So know what we have to do. I should start. We put very much effort, much ever we can for what is merit to us. So we create our own merit. Create causes of happiness, not causes of suffering. Because we understanding the cause and the effect. So that's the reason, in order to certainly bring about loving thoughts between all, we're going to create loving kindness, compassion to others. And we recognize, we create something negative, result is coming to in previous negative result is coming to in this life. So now I'm going to create a positive, create something like, good merit. And then that's the reason I'm going to put effort and practice loving kindness, compassion for others, thoughts between all other beings. So now we go to the verses 70. For example, when a fire in one house has moved into another house, it is right to get rid of straw and such things that will cause the fire to spread. So this is an example. For example. So this example, the main point is we have to stop our anger. We have to stop our emotions. If we don't stop our emotions, their emotion create more suffering, more problems, endless become. So that's the reason when our emotion, anger is like arising, when we recognize, we have to stop that. Example is when a fire in one house has moved into another house. So we recognize that a fire come to another house, going to get another house. It is right to get rid of straw and such things. So then that will cause the fire to spread. So right away we have to stop that fire to get rid of straw and such things, because where the fire get, we have to get rid of these things. Otherwise, going to fire is going to get your house, another house, then all the houses are going to burn. See, anger is like that. So first, like example, anger and like very smallly, like think about two families. The kids each other, anger each other. Then after mother follow that, kids, protecting kids. Then father followed the mother. And then all the whole families evolved. So then all the villages evolved, become small villages like that. And also country also does the same thing like that, because the countries and like small things, they become talk about that laws, and then they evolve, become more bigger. Then that goes whole country problems. So we recognize that, right? And a couple of people's problems become whole country problems. Right now, is countries created like that way. So we know, so like some country put another countries people put in the jail. So then another put more people jail, and then goes more strong in the strong, become whole countries enemy each other, and then going to war. So that kind of, it's like starting from the small things, but become, no one can stop that. So anger destroy like that, emotions destroy like that. But human beings, because ego, ignorance, not easily accept their own problem. They're always pointing others. They don't have finger pointing out their own problem. The finger is always pointing out, right? That's why then endless suffering and the problems. Uh, so then we go to the verses 71. Uh, Likewise, when the fire of hatred spreads, to whatever my mind is attached, I should immediately get rid of it, for fear of my Mary being burned. So, likewise means this is the main point. First one is example. So, when the fire of is same is the hatred, is anger spreads. See, anger spreads, then goes like more people, become whole villages enemy each other, whole neighbors, like communities hit each other, then become slowly bigger and bigger, like states hit each other and the country hit each other. So like that kind, goes bigger, no one can stop that. So when the starting anger, so can stop. Yeah, so especially that's also just like auto level. We recognize that problem in the world right now. But then also when anger arises, our own mind, we have to stop that. Otherwise, our anger is cannot control. One day cannot control. That time is too late. So create too much problems. Then you say, I'm going to control my anger. It's too late. Before you destroy yourself, before you destroy others, you have to control your anger, right? We have to control our own anger. So to whatever my mind is attached, then where is anger is arise? Actually, we already talked before, anger is cause is our attachment, so we are attached to our own body, we are attached to our own family and relatives, house. Okay, we are attached to our own spiritual, path, religion, and so our attached to our country, So due to that, the attachment is a cause. Then, so who harm for that, and then we are hatred to that, anger arise. So that's the reason I should immediately get rid of it. Means like we have to first actually stop the attachment, desire. Then anger not easy to arise because no cause there. For fear of my Mary being burned. So we have to get rid of anger because the reason is we recognize anger destroys our all merit. And not only this life, spiritual merit, previous life, many life, eons, good merit is anger can removed, anger can destroy all the merit. So we create merit is not easy, have to put so much effort. But then when anger arises, it's all going to destroy. So think about you going to create like so hard, have to work so much. You have to burn the house, have to work so hard. But one fire comes, your house and other people's house also just going, couple hours, it's gone. So anger is the same as the fire. Our merit is the same as the object, house and other things, whatever you own, all fire can go into destroy. So that's the reason when anger arises, we recognize and this anger is not going to destroy others also. It's actually really going to destroy my own merit. Recognize that we have to stop our own anger. Get rid of our own anger. So now we go to verses 72. This also example is very good example. Why is me condemned to death, not fortunate? If he is released after having his hand cut off, why am I who am experiencing human misery not fortunate? If by that I am spared from the agonies of here. So think about it, like someone did something wrong and then they get in the jail, so that person is going to, what to say, they're going to care is like usually what the usually words that, we have another words.
Executed.
Yeah, executed. The person is going to execute it like already 100%. They make decision. They said that person is going to execute it or something. But then they just cut the hand and release. The person is become very happy. They lost the hand. It's okay because he didn't lose the life, right? The life is comparing to one hand lost. He going to easily accept that. He never upset. He is happy to come back to home. The family also very happy because the reason is he didn't lose the life. That thing, thank you to the who cut the hand, the release, didn't care the life. They didn't tell where life, just take the one hand and become release. Family also happy, that person also happy, right? You think so? Do you think so? Yeah. So that's we knows. Then same thing like that, And in these human beings, Shantideva said, whichever difficult problem you have, it's same as like cut the hand. You free from all these hell sufferings. You take care of that already because all karma is happening in this life. Your suffering is become useful and you don't have to going to go to the hell realms. You are already free from hell realms, suffering. So then in the human being, we get suffering difficulties. That's we are just, if really recognize we free from the hell realms, then we are happy to do, take that, that suffering. It's not that difficulty. Think about if you have a choice, you can see the hell realm sufferings, and or in this human being, what right now we have difficulty suffering. Okay, someone say, which one you going to choose? Everyone going to choose human beings suffering. If you don't have to go to hell realms, everyone going to like fight with human beings suffering, right? If like, think about the 100 people there, 50 people have to go to hell realms, 50 people take suffering in this life. So then have, like us to choose, who going to choose? Everyone going to fight in this life suffering, right? No one wanted to go to lower realms. Suffering. So if you really understanding, Shantideva says cause and effect, it's like that. You know why I'm who am experiencing human misery, not fortunate if by that I am spared from the agonist of here. So that's great, right? It's like human beings' sufferings, get rid of all the hell realms suffering. If you can do that, you are very lucky. So we have to recognize that is great. Then we go to 73. If I am unable to endure even the mere sufferings of the present, then why do I not restrain myself from being angry, which will be the source of hellish misery? So if I am unable to endure even this is very small suffering of this in present life, then why we don't stop the causes of hell realm suffering? Because we recognize we cannot take care in small suffering in this life. Then you're going to create so much bigger suffering cause. You are crazy or what going on, think about yourself. So Shantideva is just ask question for us. What going on yourself, right? If you cannot bear through like small sufferings, then why you create so much bigger suffering, causes of suffering? If you cannot bear through small things suffering, then stop bigger causes of suffering, right? If you cannot pay like, small bears to like, bears pay for bears, why you buy so many things, then become, right? So that means like you're going to dead, right? Dead. If we cannot pay very small bears, then why we create so much bigger bears? So that kind of similar information, why do I not restrain myself from being angry? Why you don't stop the angry? Because angry result is hell is so much suffering, which will be the source of hellish misery. Then go to the 74. For the sake of satisfying my desires, I have suffered numerous burning in here. But by those actions, I fulfill the purpose of neither myself nor others. So we have to think about ourselves. We are reborn in samsara endless. We reborn many different kind of realms. You know, we go through so much suffering. So that's all suffering is useless. That suffering is no benefit anything for us. That suffering is no benefit for anything others. The reason is because we don't recognize cause and effect. You know, we didn't really practice patience. When suffering comes, you practice patience, that suffering is useful. But when suffering arises, we didn't practice patience. That's the reason all suffering is useless. See, for the sake of satisfying my desires, so we are so much fixation, attachment to all the object. You know, desires so strong. That's the reason we have to create, we create a karma. I have suffered numerous burnings in here because we are attached to the object. We create a karma. That karma take us in the hell realms. We are so much suffering, burning in the hell. But the thing about it, by those actions, I fulfilled the purpose of neither myself nor any others. We didn't benefit anything for ourselves and others. The sufferings. What happened? Because we didn't use that suffering is correctly. We didn't take that suffering is in the path. So if you can use the suffering is correctly, take into the right direction, then we already have like, here is like 72 is, someone go into the jail and the example. So like that person is cut the hand release. Same like that in the human being time is get suffering and free from lower realms. But that means like the person is use suffering correctly. When suffering comes, they use that suffering, the practice, take into the path. Because when enemies harm to you, you get suffering, you practice patience. That means you transform suffering, taking into the path. So if you do that way, suffering is useful. But I'm beginning last time until now, our suffering is useless. We are in the samsara so much suffering, but that suffering didn't have anything. The reason is because we didn't take care that suffering is correctly. So that suffering nothing benefited ourselves and others. Then we go to verses 75. But no, since great meaning will accrue from harm which is not even a fraction of that, I should indeed be solely joyful towards such suffering that despair the harms of all. So when you meditate, practice patience, the patience is the practice of patience is but no sense great meaning were accrued, means like the practice of patience is become useful, create good causes, from harm which is not even a fraction of that, means like actually when you practice patience also you have to do hardship. Practice patience means like not just easy going, not happily accepted. practice patience means like hardship and difficulty, go through that. So that practice patience is comparing to suffering hell realms. The practice patience is not that harm. See, from harm which is not even a fraction of that, means like comparing to hell realm suffering, the practice patience is not that kind of difficulty, not that kind of strong hardest. Actually, practice patience is hard, not easy, but comparing to hell realm suffering, practice patience is not that difficulty. Then practice patience has meaningful, because so you can create so much good things. That is like no saying great meaning. Practice patience is great meaning, very accrued. So then also I should indeed be solely joyful. So practice patience. Also someone, we practice ourselves or someone practice patience to others, we see that I should indeed be solely joyful. It's rejoicing and joy for ourselves. Towards such suffering that despair the harms of all. So towards such suffering that despair the harms of all, because this all the suffering is despaired. The when you practice like indeed be solely joyful, means like they have actually two kind of meanings here. One is like you practice patience, and that result is you have joyful, and also that practice patience despair so much suffering. Purify so much karma and the release causes of suffering. Then also some other people, have rejoiced like to some others, like kind of like we have enemy, so other people have rejoiced our enemies. So you also, so that means like that person also get joyful, and so that person also purify karma. So we also have to accept that, others joyful. So that kind of like two meanings going on there. So main point is the practice patience is not easy, but comparing to the harem suffering, practice patience is easy. Then practice patience has so much meaningful, create good things. Also practice patience purify so much karma. And that's the reason we have to enjoy to practice patience, not like kind of unhappy, sad, then no choice, practice patience. Happy to practice patience, joyfully practice patience. Because practice patience is even difficult, but so much there has result and great things. So now we go to verse 76. Should someone else find joyous happiness upon praising my enemy as an excellent person, why mine do you not praise him too, and likewise make yourself happy? So should someone else find joyous happiness, means that is actually not our enemies, but someone, kind of a third person press to our enemy. Okay? Then upon press my enemy, see that person is press my enemy as an excellent person. So the thing about the three person. First is a thing about ourselves, second is our enemy, third is another person. Third person press to the second person, our enemy. Okay? Then this third person, because he pressed to the enemy, then he pressed to others. He has a joyful, someone else find joy, happiness. The third person find joy and happiness. That he pressed to our enemies, second person. Then first of ourselves, why mind do you not press him too? Why also first person ourselves? Why no press to the second person enemy? Because the third person press to the second person, third person get joy, happy. Then why the first person ourselves also no press to the second person is enemy? Uh, to and likewise make yourself happy. If you press to the second person, also you get happy and joy. Same as the third person. Why you not doing that to yourself? So let's ask question, right? Shantideva asked make question for us, ourselves. This question is to the ourselves. Then if you don't angry and also like you press to your enemy, then you get joy and happy. Why you don't want your happy and joy? So that's the Shantideva said. If you want happy and joy, then also you press to your enemy. Because the third person, he press to your enemy, he is happy. You also press to your enemy, you also get happy too. Why you don't want happy, or why you don't want to press to him? So that's the question. So then we go to the verses 77. That joyous happiness of yours. So we got flow together, actually, the 76, 77, 78, or going together. That joyous happiness of yours would be source of joy, not something prohibited, percept giving by the excellent ones, and the spring means for exampling others. So see, if you press to your enemy, you also get joy, happy, because the same is like other one, third person also he get joy. So that joy is happiness of yours, not others, enemies. That means like we get rid of our anger and we get rejoice, and then the rejoice is a positive feeling, happy feeling. That feeling is our self feeling, our happiness, our own happiness. That rejoice is our own happiness. That joy, happiness of yours would be source of joy. That is source of joy. Also, not something prohibited. That joy, rejoicing, praise to enemy, and we receive happy and joy. That is nothing wrong. So that is a great joy, good happiness. We want that nothing, no negative anything there. So our percept giving by the excellent ones, there are also Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, giving that instruction for us, because we have to practice rejoice, right? So Buddhas always say, be rejoice, be praise to the others. So Buddha's giving for us that practice. So if we practice that, we get joy and happy. Why you not going to do that? And Sprim means for exampling others. So then also that practice, for exampling others means like become others also our friend. You know, you praise to others, you rejoice for others, the other people also become our own friend and become they are also like for us, like to us. They're not going to hatred to us. Make sense? Usually, we doesn't like someone, we're not going to praise to that person, we're not going to do rejoice to that person. So we hold our, hatred, and then we that lose our happy and joy, and the same time also the other person also same thing. That person also doesn't like us because like true strong this ordinary ego is so strong each other, and then they're going to like always hit each other, hurt each other, so create all the time problems. Then always create a problem each other, never going to go right directions. So if you wanted to change that, you wanted to other person is become your friend, then you have to press to other person enemy and rejoice that person, so that person also receive that and become that person is also your friend, also your follower. And the spread means for exampling others, or it's become also uh, that person is become your friend. That makes sense or no? Okay. Then we go to the 78. So 78 is I don't want to press to my enemy. I don't want to rejoice my enemy, because the reason is if I press to my enemy, then that person is going to get happy. I don't want that. So if you think that is where, then that's Shantideva giving these instructions. So usually we always think that I don't want to press to my enemy because I don't want he is happy, she is happy, right? I don't care that person. So you ordinary people always think that way, usually. So if you think that, then uh, it is said that others are made happy through being praised in this way. But if in this way you do not want them to have this happiness, so we don't want to praise to our enemy because we don't want our enemy get happiness. If you think that, then since it makes them happy, you should cease giving wages and the like to your servants, but you would be adversely affected both in this and future lives. Okay, so then example is you're going to pay salary for your workers because the reason is you want to make them happy. That's why you pay salaries for them. Then if you don't want others happy, then you also don't have to pay the salary for others. Just take out salary. You don't want happy others. Uh, then you see who is get more affected. You know that affected your happiness too. Become you also lose your happiness too. If you don't pay salary for others, because the reason is you don't want they are happy. That's why you stop the salary. Then affected you because you also lose going to happiness too. So that means all is dependent each other, related to each other. If you press to enemy is happy. If you don't want to happy them, that's why you're not going to press. So then this is like same logically. You recognize yourself, you pay salary for your staff, and they get salary, they're happy, but you don't want others happy, then you stop the salary paying. The reason is you don't want happy others. If you stop that, that affected you. You know, same is like you don't press to your enemy. They affected you. So that is an example, you know. If you stop others, it's like the connections, then result is also the, you know, come to you and stop your happiness too. So that is the 78. Affected both in this and the future lives. Then this happiness affected not only this life, future lives too. When people describe my own good qualities, I want others to be happy too. But when they describe the good quality of others, I did not wish to be happy myself. So this is the first is when people describe my own good qualities. Is we have to think about like other enemies, our own enemy, others. They describe, you know, they praise my own qualities, good qualities. I want others to be happy too. So actually, you know, I want is okay. So we recognize. Then also I want my enemy also have happy too. So this Tibet is a little bit different. So it's there, or is Tibet is put the enemies. So first one also enemy press to us. Example, our enemies press to us. So then, okay, I want my enemy has happy too, because he pressed me. Yeah. Then, but so when I describe the good quality of others, so then also I'm telling good quality for others. If I do not wish to happy myself, then that means I am crazy. You know, why I don't want happiness myself? Or I'm something wrong, or I'm crazy, right? Because enemy press to me, I wish they have a happiness. My enemy have a happiness because they press me. And I'm going to press to others. That press to other also I get happy too. But why I stop that happiness myself? Why I don't press to others? If I don't press to others, stop my happiness. If I stop my own happiness, then I am something wrong. Why I don't wish that happiness? So that means like we have to create a cause. I press to others, I get happiness, right? So if I don't press, I don't get happiness. Why you don't press? Why you don't want to happiness? So are you crazy or not? Something like that, yeah? See, there's a good job, you know, everyone can do. You have very good pay salary, easy to do. Then others doing that, you know, they get good salary and they enjoy. I can't do that. I say I'm not going to do. That means like you are crazy, right? So like that. Because our enemy press to us, the enemy get happy. That's the reason they press us. And I'm not going to press to them because I don't like. If I press to them, I get happiness. Actually, I stop my happiness, my own happiness, I stopped. Actually, enemies didn't stop my own happiness. Who stopped my happiness? We stop our own happiness. So that is the verse 79. Little bit complicated, but some ways, some ways easy to understand. Do you understand? Okay. So the main point is, enemy don't see press to me and they get happiness. Then if I press enemy, I get happiness, but I'm not doing press to enemy because I stop my own happiness. So that's the reason I do not wish to be happy myself. Why? If I want happiness, I have to press to enemy. Then verses 80. Having generated the awakening mind through wishing all beings to be happy, why should I become angry if they find some happiness themselves? So this is telling us, okay? So because we take the, Bodhisattva's vows, we promise we're going to benefit all other beings. So having generated, we generated the awakening mind bodhicitta, through wishing, we wishing all beings to have happy. Why should I become angry? Why we become angry? Because if they find some happiness themselves. So you're saying, and then action is totally against, right? We're saying we're going to wishing all beings have a happiness. Then actually, our enemies get little small things happiness, you're not happy. So then verses 81, if I wish for all sentient beings to become Buddhas worshipped throughout the three realms, then why am I tormented when I see them receive mere mundane respect? See, this is also really good instruction for us who take the way Bodhisattva's vows and who worship the Buddha, See, if I wish for all sentient beings to become Buddhas, right? So we wish that we always every day chant these prayers, then worship through all the three realms. We always do this. All these three realms is become Buddha. We wish that three realms is like desire realms, form realms, formless realms. So this included all these 6 realms. So then we saying that, but then we praying to Buddha. We wishing all these beings have happiness. We wishing all these mother beings free from suffering. Then why am I tormented when I see them receive small mundane respect? If the others enemies get something very small something, then we upset. Why happening like that? If like you doesn't like someone, they get job, you upset. They get something good, we upset. So what happened that? Because we want all beings have a happiness, promise is so big, but actually mind is so narrow, right? Recognize that is the like for our who take the Bodhisattva's vows problem. So we cannot say people who didn't take the Bodhisattva's vow, they didn't say this going to benefit all these beings. They didn't worship Buddha. That's the reason wanted to do free from all these realms samsara. So we're doing that, then we cannot be, our mind is too narrow. We have to open our mind. So when we get upset, jealousy for others, so we have to bring these words in our mind, So this is a good pit instruction. So otherwise we drawing, saying, and actually our mind against that. Saying and then really in the mind is not same. So body's action, speech action, mind action is separate, not together. Okay. So now we go to the 82. If a relative for whom I am caring and to whom I must give many things should be able to find his own livelihood, wouldn't I be happy rather than angry? So that is an example, kind of, if you have to take care of whole family and all this, maybe like many people's responsibility you have to take care so many people there. So if a relative for whom I am caring, you have to take care, and to whom I must give many, whatever you make salaries, you have to pay for them, giving to them, they have to, because for them living, it's all is depending you, many things, then should be able to find their own livelihood. One day they're still depending you, but no same is like everything 100%. Maybe they'll get their own something 10%. You're going to happy, right? Actually, we have to happy because they're not relying on 100%. They're only relying on 90%. 10% is less responsible. Should be you be happy, but wouldn't I be happy? Or you going to upset rather than you angry? Why are you going to angry? If you don't have to take care, like 10% is less. If you less 10%, you'll be more happy. Why are you going to upset if you don't have to take care 100%? If you have to take care 100%, you have fully responsible everything. All these people is relying on you. But then they can take care their own 90%, then you upset. That means you are crazy. If these people 100% they can take care themselves, you are free. You must be happy. But then you're going to more upset. That means you are crazy. So that is the rather than angry. Why you angry? Same is like we say we wish all beings have a happiness. Then they get some small happiness, we upset. So then someone like relying on 100%, they get just 10% something that benefited their own, you upset. So that is just follow together, 90, 81 and 82. If you upset, you are something wrong. Why you upset, right? So then 83, if I did not wish for beings to have even this, how can I wish for them to awaken? And where is where in awakening mind? In him who become angry when others receive things. So see, if I do not wish for beings to have even this, like, I don't want they have opportunity, they have happiness, then how can I wish for them to awaken? How you can do all sentient beings, I wish them become Buddha? how you can do that wish? No make sense, right? If you cannot let go $1 bill, how you can giving $100 bill for others? So you're saying, I'm going to give up everything for benefit others. But actually, you not let go even $1 bill from you out. So your words saying, I'm going to give up my body, speech, mind, all for mother sentient beings. Realitily, $1 bill you don't want to spend for others. This is really great, right? We have the problems. How can I wish for them to awaken? And then, and where is there in awakening mind? So where is your bodhicitta? Where is your compassion? Where is your love for others? It's all words, it's politicians' words, not spiritual words. You know, the politicians say, oh, I'm going to make this, I'm going to create this, all it's words, right? Everything they say, they're going to take you perfect. You don't have to go to work if I become president. So people, the president always say like that, you know, who's going to run the presidents or this like higher office jobs. They say, oh, if I get in this job, I'm going to do for you everything. The laws like they are creator gods. So it's like same is like become politician words, you know. And where is there in a waking mind? Where is bodhicitta? In him who become angry when others receive things. See, why you angry? Then others get small things happy. So you know, you say you're going to give up everything for others. Then others receive something their own benefit. Why you going to angry? Right? So it's great words. Means like good, very good instruction. That's kind of like also we're doing lots of Buddhist people, you know, like all mother sentient beings, whole world peace, you know, like everything is benefit for others, all mother sentient beings, but then reality is no any actions. 84. What does it matter if my enemy is giving something not? Whether he obtains it or whether it remains in the benefitor's house. In either case, I should get nothing. So, see, this is like good, very good instruction for also spiritual teachers and also like monastics, and good for the lay people too. Both has these problems. So see, what does it matter if my enemy is giving something not? Means like, so whether he obtains it. So like example, like someone give job for your enemy. Someone give opportunity your enemy. You doesn't like someone, like you just have someone competitions. You doesn't like someone, you not really hatred to someone, you doesn't like that. That person get job, someone give a job for them. So you know, whether he obtains it or whether it remains in the benefitor's house, in either case, I should get nothing. He get job or don't get job, you know, it's same thing. Nothing for you difference anything, right? It's not anything going to change, you know. That is not it's your nothing. Actually, we say like ordinary people say it's not your business, right? That is ordinary words, you know, you're not your business. And spiritually, actually, you really don't get anything benefit. You know, some companies going to hire the job, you not going to get the job. That company offer that job for someone you doesn't like. That person that get job, or they offer or not offer, but you are same. You don't lose anything, you don't get anything. You know, that company, whatever that does, they own. The enemy get a job or not job, then nothing affected you anything. Why you no upset? Why you upset? You know why you are upset? Why you angry? So then same thing like see spirituals. Uh, mm, so what does it matter if my enemy is giving something not? You know some like uh, the spiritual like teacher, so like kind of many different kind of like teachers groups or different lineages also like they have so many ideas like everything you can use this word for. Okay, they're going to this something the sponsors donation to others lineages. Why I'm going to upset? Because if the donation to other lineage or not, if the donation to other lineage or the donation state that the donors they hold the money they own, then nothing going to benefit me. That money is not mine. The money is the donors. They're going to donation to them or not. Is that depending them? You know why I'm going to upset? So the donation to them or no donation to them, no anything for benefit me. So I just rejoice. It's good, you know, if I can get married. Otherwise, I'm upset. I lose my you know spiritual quality and lose my Mary, and also they receive the donations. So not you don't get anything. You are become losers. That's the reason Shantideva said, you don't get anything, don't upset. If you upset, you are loser and loser. Okay, so if enemy get jobs, if you upset, you are loser because you lose your merit. And if you rejoice that, you gain merit. So, so good instructions, right? Do you recognize? So it's this all is like we need, you know, we transform our life, change our life. So whether it remain in the benefitor's house, in either case, I share get nothing. We don't get anything. Okay, so that's the reason is whatever happen is have to rejoice that this instructions are really good for the monastics, you know, like lineages and like you know religions who strongly attached to the lineage, religion and the lineage and the spiritual and me and so strong like that. And we don't know like see where the donors goes, right? So it's like we also see have dharma centers, each different areas dharma centers where the donors donations we have to rejoice them, we don't upset or the donors belong to us. Why donation there, you know, we don't, we cannot do that. So like that either case I share get nothing. So now we go to the 85. So why by becoming angry do I throw away my merit? The faith others have in me and my good qualities tell me why am I I'm not angry with myself for not having the causes for gain. Mm. So with just, ordinary people think, oh, I don't want my enemy has, something, get good opportunity, or they get job, or my enemy get donors, and my enemy get some, things that get good things. I don't want that. So if you think that way, also you are really attached to our own, like desires, attached to own desire. So that is the Shantideva says become wrong and they're going to lose our own qualities. So why by becoming angry? Why are you angry? Enemy get donors, enemy get jobs. Why are you angry? Yeah. So why you don't hold your qualities? So do I throw away my merit? You going to throw away your merit? Enemy get good opportunities. You going to throw away your merit? You going to throw the faith and other faith others have in me, in my good qualities. You all going to throw away your good qualities? Tell me why am I not angry with myself? So actually, you have to angry with yourself, not angry with who get opportunity. Because others get something, opportunity. See, we already talked 84, you get nothing. Then why you angry? If you angry and upset, lose your merit and lose your all the spiritual qualities, then why you should angry yourself? Why you don't hold your qualities? Because you need to angry yourself. The reason is you create yourself suffering. You create yourself is loser. you know That's why you have to angry with yourself. Tell me why am I not angry with myself? Why you not going angry with yourself? For not having the cause for gain. So nothing going to get any benefit to you. Why you going to throw away your qualities? Why you not going to so for not having the causes for gain? So that's always a caution for ourselves. If we do mistakes, then think about these words. You have to caution yourself. You have to push yourself harder. Recognize pointing finger is ourself. Because you doing wrong like this, okay? Why you don't you like loser and loser create yourself? So now next 86 is let alone not having any remorse about the evils that you committed. Oh mind, why do you wish to compete with others who have committed meritorious deeds? So if then you think, if I don't get any offerings, I don't get any benefits, then also I don't want to have others. So like that thinking. Or you say, I don't get a job, also I don't want to get others a job too. I don't get any opportunities. I don't want they also get opportunity, anything. So if you think that way and you don't really, uh, kind of like remorse, you don't have any remorse, still you follow that way, let alone not having any remorse, still you just don't want to have others have a happiness. You don't have any remorse, your wrong thinking about the evils that you committed. We committed this wrong, intention. We don't have any remorse for that. That is like uh, create strong, no virtuous deeds about the evil that you committed. Oh, my mind, why do you wish to compete with others? So why do you wish to compete? Yeah, compete with others. Why you want to compete with others? Why you others have suffering? Why you think that? So who have committed meritorious deeds? Someone has did good merit. Someone has good accumulation merit. So that's the reason that person has good opportunities. They're going to get something greater things. Then why you competing with them? If you compete with them, you lose your happiness. You must have remorse because like, oh, I did something wrong previous life. That's the reason I don't get, but that my enemies have opportunity. I don't have opportunity. So if you think that way, then you don't upset with your enemies. If you don't upset with your enemies, then you don't get something. We don't get something. We don't upset ourselves. We think, oh, that's previous life karma. So it's due to the karma. And then you rejoice others who get. We create karma, good karma. So if you upset others, then first we have due to our karma, no successful. Second, also we don't have remorse of what our previous karma, and then also still creating more karma. So someone who has good karma, we comparing, competing with others. You have committed, who have committed meritorious deeds. That's also good instruction. So some is like due to previous life karma, because something we want something good but no successful due to previous life karma. If doesn't like someone, that person is become successful, good things happening. That also due to previous life karma. So if you upset, angry, and you don't want to have others happiness, that become we are loser and loser again, right? So we destroy ourselves again and again. So we have to recognize situations. Okay, my previous life good Mary is not enough. So no, we have to regret that, and we have to create good karma and rejoice for others. Then you don't lose your happiness. You are no loser and loser. You are become winner and winner. So we have opportunity we can create that, but we not doing that because due to our emotions, jealousy. So actually, jealousy, emotions stop us our opportunities. We have to recognize that. So now we go to the verses 87. Even if your enemy is made unhappy, what is there for you to be joyful about. Your merely wishing for him to be hurt did not cause him to be injured. So see, this is like not really high practitioner thinking. Even you just ordinary people think, you know. If our enemies like get something hurt, what is going to benefit for us, right? Why are we going to happy for that? Nothing benefit for us, right? Why are we going to happy for that? Because even if your enemy is made unhappy, they get difficulty, or our enemies lose job, or lose family or relatives, friends, and lose possessions, power, then what is there for you to be joyful about? Why are you going to joyful about? Okay? So reason you're merely wishing for him to be hurt. Do not cause harm to be injured. Even you wish, oh, he is going to suffering more, and I wish he lose something, and you wish that your wish is nothing going to change that person. So only just lose your merit. Make sense or no? Do you understand? It's clear, right? That one is easy, simple one. So you're merely wishing for him to be hurt. You get all hurt is want that you happy did not cause him to be injured. Your wish is nothing going to change that person. That person is always followed by their own karma. So if he lost your enemy, Shantideva said, don't wish harm, don't rejoice. Just say like feel sorry for that person, feel sorry for that person. And then we don't lose our merit. So actually you cannot, did not cause him to be injured because your wish is nothing going to injure the person. If your wish is like exactly what happening for others, also nothing going to benefit you. So that is 88. And even if he does suffer as you had wishes, what is there for you to be joyful about? If you say, for I shall be satisfied, how could here be anything more rich than that? So, and even if he does suffer as you had wished, so like the enemy is like get suffering, what do you want? What is there for you to be joyful for about? If the enemy is get suffering, why are you going to get joyful? What are you going to get? Actually, you don't get anything. Because only you lose your merit. So that's why Shantideva asked you a question, why you joyful about? If you say, for I shall be satisfied, oh, I'm very satisfied because he lost. Okay, how could there be anything more rich than that? That is really wrong motivation and wrong intention. So that actually create you causes of suffering. You lose your merit and actually harming to yourself. Nothing you get benefit anything for yourself. That is wrong. So main point is he says that is really wrong yourself. More rigid than that. You cannot do anything harming yourself more than that. Same is example is 89. This hope caused by the fishermen of disturbing conceptions is unbearably sharp. Having been caught on it, it is certain that I shall be caught. In condons by the gardens of here. So that is like Shantideva says like 88 is he says wrong because your wishing is no good intention, is harm to yourself. That is the same as this hook cast by the fisherman, disturbing conceptions. Fisherman has a hook, forget the fish. Hook is very sharp. So same like that, your emotion is going to get you. Emotion not going to let you go. That emotion caught to you in the lower realm, hair realms. Same is like fisherman caught the fish. So it's unbearable sharp. Having been caught on it, it is certain that I shall be caught. So this emotion caught us in condoms by the gardens of hair. They're going to put in the hair realms. Then all this hair realm and so many gardens, there same is like in the present has so many gardens. Same like that in the hair realm, these gardens torture us and get suffering. Because who created that? We created that. The reason is we wanted to hurt other beings. We wish that. So we create that kind of conditions. So become who lose, we are lost. So then, verses 90. The honor of praise and fame will not turn into merit nor life. It will give me neither strength nor freedom from sickness, and will not provide any physical happiness. So the honor of praise and fame. So then that honor of praise and fame will not turn into merit nor life. So this, honors, praise, and fames, nothing going to benefit ourselves. So same with yesterday, like someone telling harsh words, speech harsh words, unpleasant words, then nothing actually going to harm anything for us, right? So also like these honors of praise and fame will not turn into merit nor life. So will not turn life, it will give me neither strength nor freedom from sickness. If you are sick, someone praise you, someone honor you, you have become very famous, something, you are going to free from sick? Not possible, right? These honors give you strength? No. So that's why it will give me neither strength nor freedom from sickness, and will not provide any physical happiness. So if your body has physically difficult and problems, then this honor, praise, you have become famous or something, that give you something, physically change you? No, nothing going to change you, anything. So that's the reason, main point, you don't have attached to that. Someone, thinking about this honor, praise, fame is become, they're protecting you, this help you, that make you become perfect. But actually, Shantideva doesn't change you anything, these words. So main point, don't attach to that. Not going to have you anything. Then we go to the verses 91. If I were ever of that had meaning for me, What value would I find in these things? If all I want is a little mental happiness, I should devote myself to gambling, drinking, and so forth. So, if I were ever, or what had meaning for me, so someone has, happiness. So not like that. It's if I were ever of what had meaning for me, what value would I find in these things? So if I were ever of what had meaning for me, so what is ever means ever? Ever is
If I know,
If you understood,
yeah.
if you
Oh.
understood, if you knew.
So yeah, it's
You recognized.
if we recognize, see, if someone has a happiness, if we don't want that, that doesn't have anything. If you recognize or what hold meaning for me. So what value would I find in these things? So we don't want others have a happiness, something, you don't want that. What benefit you actually? What going to benefit you? Value would I find in these things? So actually also the follow by this, see, honors, praise, and become you are really famous. Is if you really recognize yourself, that is nothing really meaning for yourself too. What value would I find in these things? Right? So we recognize that actually become something famous, others praise, someone honor you, and so have something is like great happening outside, like every TV shows you something. But as long as you have emotions and it's nothing happy anything there, nothing value anything there actually. So we see the it's singers, movie stars, actors, actors look great, and everyone see they are famous, they are look great, but actually reality is they are really suffering. So we saw some documentaries like who's famous ones, they're taking the drugs, because there's so much suffering. They cannot bear through that. It's the difficulties. They only come to show very nicely, but in after after show in the front of the shows and go back, it's like so much going on. They're suffering there. Then also the so much problems there. Laws they have become great, but showing terms, but actually reality they have so much difficulty and the suffering there. It's their honors, like praise others. What going to benefit them really? Actually, there's so much suffering there. Okay, so if you aware of what had meaning for me, what value would I find in these things? It's actually nothing value for there. Of course, then all this is samsaric, whatever you have possessions like power, gain materials, whatever you have, of course, when we going to die, is nothing is used for, it's all is left behind. And also some just right now we see the people, someone is showing, seeing is looks like great, but the behind is miserable, suffering. That doesn't have anything, the famous names doesn't have anything. Their life is miserable, suffering. So that's why it's what value would I find in these things? If all I want is a little mental happiness, then you say, oh, I really want little small happiness. That because this someone press you get small happiness, you have become famous, very small tiny happiness you get. So you attach to that, you want that. Then I should devote myself to gambling, drink, and so forth. So then you drink, you gambling, or you do all this kind of like, like desire things, worldly desire things. They give you some like later mental happiness. The happiness really benefit you or not? Actually, not really going to benefit anything because it's all is temporary, so small, short term, and there are also causes of suffering. So that's why it's that nothing benefit you. And also 92 verses 92 very similar, go together. If for the sake of fame I give away my word or get myself scared, what can the mere words of fame do then? Once I have died, to whom will they give pleasure? See, if for the sake of fame is like someone always thinking about famous, want famous. So you are so strong attached to for that, and for you seeking for that famous. That's the reason. So I give away my word, or see, then someone give money, like others because they want to become famous. Then slowly they lose everything, and then nothing any merit for them. Even no really great merit because you don't have good intention. So you lose all everything. First, you so much hardship to work so hard to get all material things. Getting rich, but then you're seeking for famous. You're giving everything one by one. Everything is gone. It's you don't get anything. So that kind of happening many people, for seeking for famous because their all money is spent, gone. Also politicians is kind of same, right? Because they wanted to seeking in the seat, and then there, so much money spent for that. It's gone. It's become broke, right? Broke or something, no money, anything. So happening like that. That we recognize many samsaric beings does that, who has a strong desire and attachment. They do these things. Okay, so then, or get myself cared. And then some, who don't have really wisdom, these people does like that and want to be famous. And then people say, oh, he's courage, he's brave, he not scare anyone. He can subdue everyone, Then you seeking for that, there's someone going to care that person. You die because you want to be famous, and someone care you, you die. This one is lots in Tibet, like some areas. People want to become famous, is courage, beloved. No, that person, he not scared the knife, he not scared the gun, like then the wanted to famous. So he not scared the communists, he not scared anyone. Then finally they lost life. That's it. Because reason is they're just seeking for the famous, And also the people believe courage, that is like so strongly seeking. People who don't have wisdom, and some especially in the no education people, really strongly seeking for that. And some in Tibet area, you fight, you never ever run, and you die is better than you run. You die better than you lose. You know, if you lose, everyone say, wow, you know, no one talk with you. Not everybody say, it's terrible guy. He lost. You know, same like that here is like so many things who lost. Then no one want to lost. So it's anyway, that just slowly they just die. That's it. Because the reason is their just attachment, you know. So that's the reason get myself cared. So then you lose all your wealthy material things. You lose your life for the reason for famous. Then what can the mere words of them do then? What give you the words famous? Become what benefit you really, reality? You don't get anything yourself. Just you lose your worth, matter, you lose your life, finally. Once I have died, to whom where they give pleasure. So then what are you going to do? Then you're famous, your honors, your praise. What is benefit you? It's all is gone. So that's we recognize many people in the world does that. Also this, you know, like country leaders, all is like seeking honor and praise and famous. And that's the reason they die for that. They die for that. These leaders, no one has happiness, but everyone seeking that famous, you know. Actually, in that seat, all these country leaders seat, no one has happy actually, they're peaceful, joy there. But everyone's seeking for that, everyone fighting for that because due to attachment and desire. So that's the reason they die there. When they die there, they don't have anything benefit for them. Then they create so much causes of suffering. Okay, so that is the same as this example is 93. Oh, sorry about time is gone. So I'm going to finish this 93. So we need more patience, okay? This is a practice patience chapter. So you need one more patience. When either sandcastles collapse, children whore in despair. Likewise, when my praise and reputation decline, my mind becomes like a little child. So the kids, this is like kids is just ordinary kids, you know, our kids, like maybe 1 year to 10 years between could be kids. They create like something toys, you know, think about the toys. And then toys is like something wrong and it's broken. So they're going to, you know, screaming, cry, you know, parents take away from the toys, they cry. And they see the toys in the shops, parents doesn't want to buy, they cry, you know. So same that. Then this is like very old ancient time, the kids, they don't have toys. Then they just make the, go to in the saints, they create the small houses, you know, the saints. Then the, of course, saint casters clubs. Then of course it's going to clubs, it's the made by saints. You know, children for in then they are cry, you know, despair, screaming. Then likewise, same like that, you know, when my praise and reputation decline, my mind become like a little child. So then everyone sad and suffering and cry, someone take the life or, you know, die. So that is like, see, then all these samsaric beings is a child, kids. Of course, you're going to decline, you know, your reputations, declining, because the reason is it's impermanent. So it's not permanent there. Your praise, your honors, your famous, all can be declining. It can be gone. So when the reputation is declining, then my mind become like a little child. So that's, we all have that problem. All samsaric beings have that problem. That's why Shantideva giving us these instructions. Okay, so now we're going to leave it there today and going to do the dedication. So, Mary, please can you show the dedication? Measure and Roar, please can you chant the dedication?
Yes,
Yes,
Khenpo.
Khenpo.
In the whole, in the center is the marvelous Buddha Amitabha of boundless light. On the right side is the Lord of great compassion, and on the left is Vajrapani, the Lord of powerful means. All are surrounded by limitless Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Immeasurable peace and happiness is the blissful, pure land of Dewa Shen. When I and all beings pass from samsara, may we be born there without taking samsaric rebirth. May I have the blessing of meeting Amitabha face to face. By the power of the blessings of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions, may we attain this aspiration without hindrance. Teyata pensadriya awa bodha nagaya soha. Bodhicitta, the excellent and precious mind. Where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is born, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. By this virtue, may I achieve omniscience. By defeating all enemies, confusion. May all who travel on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara. As Manjushri the warrior realized the ultimate state, and as did Samantabhadra, I will follow in their path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings. May the teachings of the great Rikupa, Ratna Shri, who is omniscient Lord of the Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue and increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation until the end of samsara.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Khenpo.
See you evening.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank
That
you,
was really
Khenpo.
powerful.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank you, Khenpo.
Thank you.
Hey, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Khenpo.